Good day, guys. This is by VIX, and welcome once again to the weekly forecast technical analysis on volatility indices. As you know, we always start from VIX25, which was once you load your chart on the reef trading view, that's the first chart that you'll see. If you remember last week, we made an analysis on VIX25. We are seeing this overall. This is a bearish flag being formed here, right? This is a bearish correctional flag being formed here because there was a bullish movement and then we started consolidating in a particular channel, right? If you remember last week, we caught this movement here in the last week time, right? When we saw this head and shoulder here, then we took this straight to the upside. So once the market came back to our resistance zone here, this was a previous resistance zone here, and here also a resistance, and it correlates with our trend line. You know, when you are trading in a channel, you sell here, you take profit here. You buy here, you take profit here, right? You sell here and then take profit here, then you buy and then take profit here. That's exactly what we did last week. So since we are in a bullish flag, we're expecting a particular movement to the upside, a breakout and then a retest and then a breakout, and then we continue to the upside, right? So right now, as you can see, we're expecting one of those movements to play in right now, because since we're in a bullish flag, it's supposed to be we're going to experience a breakout somewhere around this particular zone. And you know, the breakout usually has its own confluence, maybe breaking above a particular resistance, or maybe we're looking maybe for a ascending triangle or a descending triangle, where we'll be looking for the market to break below a support line. But right now, as you can see, we're expecting a bullish breakout on this particular trend line and then a retest before we start looking for buy continuation to the upside. So you know, if we want to do our analysis, we usually start from the higher time frame, like the 24 hours time frame, that's the daily time frame, right? But most of the time, if you can start with the highest time frame possible, it will be better. As you can see on our previous analysis, we noticed that the market was in a bearish trend, and then we broke out and got this particular movement, a complete breakout here, and then a bullish push to the upside, and now we are now in a bullish correctional channel. So we're expecting the market to complete this particular bullish movement. So we can't really tell exactly where the bullish momentum will end, but you see, we touched this particular order block and we came back here. So there's possibility of we maybe coming back down before maybe looking for buys to the upside, something of this particular movement. Maybe we'll crash down, right? Crash down, and then once we touch this particular where our movement started from, this particular order block, that's where our bullish momentum started. So if we're going to test there, then before we now look for a breakout to the upside, right? But it can happen anywhere, depends on, since we're not the market makers, we're just retailers and speculators in the market. So what we just do, we ride the trend, we use what the trend is giving us to trade the market. Just like the way we said, if you are a scalper, you buy from this particular channel to the upside, you take your profit here once you notice a reversal candle on the high time frame here, right? So right now we'll be looking to sell this market to continue the bearish trend correction once we notice a very nice reversal candles being formed at this particular zone here. But if we get a bullish momentum, a clean breakout, and we stay above this particular zone, then we'll be looking to buy the market, and then our next take profit zone will be this resistance here. So we'll be going down to the smaller time frame, like the 4 hours, since we saw those candles on an 8-hour candle. Let's check how the candles form. And As you can see, there's a nice bullish push here, but giving us leaving us with a very huge fair value gap here. So there's possibility of the market coming back to fill up this particular fair value gap. Once we retest here and we fail to hold above this particular zone here, we're gonna see a possible breakout. But if we fail to see a breakout around this particular zone, then we'll be riding the trend back to continue the correctional trend until maybe we come back to this particular confluence zone where our first order block is, right? Then before we now see a bullish push to the upside, right? So that's it for VIX25, and then we'll go to, okay guys, for VIX10. If you check our analysis from the previous week, you will notice that all analysis has been respected on this particular VIX10. You see, let me delete this so we could start explaining the whole analysis or the whole scenario from the beginning. As you can see on the higher time frame, let's go back to the 4 hours time frame. You could see we are in a bullish correctional trend to the upside. Yes, this is VIX100S on the higher time frame right now. As you can see, when the market came to this particular zone, we saw this after this bullish movement, we saw this bullish a bearish flag being formed after a bullish movement, and then there's tight squeeze around the sell side liquidity. So we're expecting a bearish trend. So right now, as you can see, our prediction played out. We sold from this particular zone. After this, we saw this huge bearish candle broke out of this particular trend line, right? We sold and kept holding. We came back to retest, gave us a double top at around this particular zone here, as you can see, right? So I'm expecting a fill up on this particular zone on this particular week to fill up this particular liquidity zone. Let's come back to our buy setup zones. As you can see, we're already trading below this particular support zone, so we broke our first obstacles to selling this particular market to the downside. So we're expecting to come back down here and then get support from this particular zone, then to now see a bullish continuation to the upside. So don't get yourself confused. As you can see on the higher time frame, we were previously on a downtrend, and then what happened? We got a bullish push to the upside, right? And that bullish movement, as we used our trend line to guide us all through, and we marked out all possible key zones on this particular market. As you can see, the market is respecting those particular key zones. This is a major key zone which now serves as a support, and this is a major resistance zone, key zone which serves as a resistance set, right? As you can see, the market cleanly break below, came back to the test that particular key zone, and now we're now trading below it. So in the midway zone between this support and resistance key here, we are now in the middle, right? So from this particular zone, we are expecting a bullish momentum to start coming. Then buyers will come in and push the market to the upside for we to continue selling and buying the market to the upside. Hope everything is clear. So for those who want to enter, you have to just go down to the smaller time frame. For we scalpers, since we are now holding the market for a long time, we're just going to look for our price action and then look for sells to the downside. The market is making higher highs and higher lows. So right now, there's possibility we are now in this particular higher lower low right now. As you can see, there's an higher low and then there's a lower low, right? So we're expecting to make this will now become a higher low, and then we'll be making a new lower low to the downside. So we might have a change of trend if this particular market failed to make a new low and makes a new high. Then the change of direction has been triggered. So from there, we'll now be looking for buys to the upside. But right now, we're going to continue being bearish. As you can see, let's delete this so the chart will be a little bit more clean for your understanding on VIX100S. Right, this is where we crashed from, and now we're now ranging. So you can see connect this particular movement with a particular trend line, and you see everything correlates with what is happening in the market, right? So this is a bearish correctional trend in the bullish market, right? Something of this nature. So we'll be selling this particular market as this trend line as our guide. We'll be selling it back to this particular zone where we'll be looking for buys, and then a possible breakout of the trend line will signal a long buy to the upside. So guys, that's for VIX 100s, right? So we'll be expecting something of this nature. Maybe if we fail to break out now, we're going to continue and be respecting this channel, consolidating, we get, and then we start pushing up to the upside. So for we that are getting into now, we're looking to sell from this particular zone at least back down, where we'll be having our zigzag movement before we see the support that will now push out to the upside, correlating with this particular buy side trend line. You know, this is our sell side trend line which the market is respecting, so we're expecting the market to come back to the buy side trend line to continue seeing the market buy. Don't forget, we're still in a bullish momentum, so we're looking for buys, but partial sells are considerable as we're selling this particular market here to the downside. So use proper risk management as you trade along the trend. Thank you guys. Good day guys. This is analysis on VIX75. We did this particular trading on what are they calling it, on our Telegram group on this particular week we are in. We saw it's a bullish continuation for VIX75 because after a bullish push to the upside, we got rejected there, and then we are now in a consolidating channel. Wow, this is signaling a very nice week for us, as I'm trying to make content and educational video for you guys, and it's raining, very raining. That signals a good week ahead for us. So right now, as you can see, after this bearish fall, we are now in a bullish correctional move. At least we're coming back to this resistance zone here, until when we break above here, that's when we'll now be signaling a possible bullish momentum to the upside. But don't forget, after a bearish fall and a triple top, right, we might see ourselves crashing back down, or after a bullish triple bottom, we're gonna see ourselves pushing to the upside. But right now, as you can see, we're expecting this particular trend to the up. So guys, on the group, so we gave two signals on the group that since we are now ranging above this particular support zone, there's possibility of the market ranging up, since there's a bullish breakout, right? So since this was the major movement, and this is now a bullish correction to the upside, so we're expecting the market to push up to see a bullish push to the upside, complete the movement here. Then from here, we'll now be looking where the market of our market direction will be. We might get rejection from this particular zone here, we might get rejected here, and then we continue back down, right? Or we will just break above this particular resistance zone, and then we'll be looking for continuous bullish movement to the upside. Hope the analysis is clear. So VIX75 is a straightforward pair and it's very volatile. So as you're trading along, make sure you use proper risk management, guys. So we have, as you're trading yourself, seeing yourself bullish to the upside, just know that we have obstacles that we need to break as we're going up. As you can see here, there is possible reaction that will come out from the market once they come back to these particular zones. Not actually moving in a straight line. It's going to be something of this nature: a retrace, and then a breakout, and then a retrace, and then a breakout, then a retrace, and then a breakout, right? That's how the market moves. So as we are rallying up, we're going to look for buys, and then our stop losses will just be below the last zones that we left, right? So we're still bullish on this particular move. So this didn't play out because I was thinking we're gonna have a continuational bullish bearish movement, since we're in a consolidating channel here, right? But as you can see, good we saw this particular W pattern here, giving us a double bottom. So we marked out our resistance zone that the market needs to break above that particular zone. Then we'll now be looking for buys to the upside. So right now we are waiting for a retracement here, and then we'll be looking for buys to the upside. So that's for VIX75. We're going to go to the next pair. Welcome back, guys. This is VIX50s, and we are looking at the weekly focus on VIX50. As you can see from the highest time frame, the last time where we did our analysis, as you can see, everything is playing out well, right? I told you guys we are in a consolidating zone, right? The market has been consolidating. We buy here, we take profit here, we sold here, and we're expecting the market to come back down here to complete this movement here, and then we start looking for a complete movement to the upside. We crash back down here, but we fail to continue being bullish to the upside. So if this could signal a very good I think a very good triple top scenario if we fail to break above this particular zone here, because since the market failed to make a new high, we're expecting a new high, so there is possibility of we coming back down here. Once we come back here, then we'll now be looking for a push back up, and then and then here, before we'll now be looking for bullish push to the upside, right? But you see here, once we fail to break this particular zone, once we fail to hold above this particular zone here, right, then we're going to see a push down, a retest, and then we'll start looking for sales to the downside. So we're going to zoom in. As you can see, this was the overall analysis we saw. The market is in a consolidating zone. So, and you know how we trade the consolidating zone, right? There's either a bearish movement and then a bullish correction continuously. You buy here, and then you sell here, right? So we're just waiting for this complete movement here on this particular pair to see, since we are still trading above the resistance line, resistance trend line. So we're expecting the market to come back at least back to this order block. Then we'll now be looking for buys to the upside. As you can see here, I'm already seeing and head. So guys, as you can see, I'm already seeing on the high time frame, I'm already seeing and head and shoulder. This will signal a nice bearish fall, at least back to this particular zone, maybe even a breakout, and then maybe we'll start looking for sell condition to keep selling the market to the downside. But this is a very good, nice scenario, giving us an head and shoulder. This is our left shoulder and this is our right shoulder. This is the head, and we're looking to sell the market to the downside. All right, so that's it for VIX50, and we'll look at the other pair. Good day, guys. This is step index, and as you can see, our last analysis on the weekly has played out as expected, right? Played out so well. We sold from this particular zone, and we took profit here, and then the market started rejecting to the downside. If you could remember, last time when we did this analysis, we saw a pure breakout, right? We saw this bullish breakout and then a retest. So when we saw this retest, we noticed this is going to be a bullish continuation, at least back up to this particular zone. After a bearish fall, came back to this other block. This was a nice support zone because the market was ranging on this particular zone, so it's a valid one. That's why we knew the market is going to continue giving us a bullish momentum to the upside, right? So right now, as you can see, we got rejected from this particular zone, which was a valid one. As you can see, we had that resistance zone being marked up there. So we're going to adjust our resistance zone because it happened around this particular zone here. And don't forget, we got another support zone here, right? So we're looking to sell this particular market since we are now in between these particular key zones, right? These are support zone and these are resistance zone right now. So right now we are looking to scalp the market before we now look for a possible continuation to the upside, because this signals a very huge bearish correctional move to the upside, right? This is a bullish flag being formed here, right? So we are expecting a bullish move, but you know, before any market continues a particular direction, it works in expansion, exhaustion, expansion, exhaustion, right? So right now you see this expansion we had, we're going to have a little bit exhaustion here, and then we're going to continue buying the market to the upside, right? So right now, let's use our Fibo to mark out this particular movement to the upside to know where the premium discount zone is, or the premium discount zone here. This is equilibrium. Some people call it equilibrium. Some people call them the golden zone. So we expect the market to sell back here, and then we'll start looking for buys to the upside, because this it correlates with this other block here, this particular other block here. So right now we'll be looking for buys, and then we'll see if the market will be able to break and then stay above this particular resistance zone. Once it does that, this signals a bullish continuation. It is back up to this particular zone here, right? So that's for step index, and this particular movement will take us for we to achieve this particular movement. So just be patient. The market will do this, and then maybe a breakout, something of that nature, and then we continue our bullish trend outside. This is just a bearish correction. Then we'll now be looking for a bullish movement outside, making new highs and new lows. So that's for step index, and we'll move to the next. Okay, guys, this is a weekly focus on boom 1000, right? On boom 1000, we are in a complete bearish movement to downside, and then we got ourselves in the ranging market before a breakout, and then this breakout signals a bullish movement to the upside. So right now, as you can see, after the bullish movement, we found ourselves in a bullish continuation of flat, where you have the market in ranging after a bullish movement, and then double bottom, and then we have this huge breakout to the downside, so to the upside. There's two ways of trading this particular one. As you can see, this could signal a bearish flag to start looking for sales to the downside. So how you trade this particular channel, you just mark out this particular channel, and then you wait for a breakout within one of these channels, right? As you can see, this was a pure breakout to the upside, signaling a bullish continuation to the upside. So after a breakout, then we came back to the test, and we are now trading above so we're now trading above this particular resistance. So since we're trading above this particular resistance on boom 1000, we're going to see continuously a bullish movement upside. So we got support from this particular zone here. So this is now our support, and we're now trading above. So we can use a trend line to guide us out of this particular trend. So once there is a complete breakout here, we'll signal a buy continuation to the upside, right? As you can see, we're in the channel right now to the downside. and we got one particular support today. So this could be signal a bullish flag, bullish continuation on this particular trend on boom 1000, right? So once we see this particular movement, right, breakout, and then we continue to the upside, and if we feel we're going to see something which is very very rare, but it happens in the market though, it happens, there's nothing, then we now continue and then fill up this particular supply liquidity zone here, and then we keep on moving to the start looking for buys to the upside, right? So that's it for boom 1000. This is our focus on boom 1000. I'm going to look at this signal and then drop it in the group. Please join the Telegram group if you get to watch this particular forecast for the week. It's going to be a lot good. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. We're going to check. We're next going to crash 1000. Okay, good day, guys. This is crash 1000. This is our focus on crash 1000 for the next week and maybe a possible movement in the market. So right now on crash 1000, can you see we're previously on the downtrend, then we broke out of that particular channel. You see the downtrend started from here, so we ended around this particular zone here, where we got this double bottom, and then we got this huge bullish push to the upside, but got rejected at around this particular zone here. So that's why, and it correlates with our bullish correction, right, with the bearish movement. So I have this correction. As you can see, we started buying from here, and then we came out and then broke out of the particular trend line and then we see the market crashing down, right? Once we saw this rejection here, you should be waiting to look for sells today outside. So this was a nice bearish push to the downside, signaling a very very strong momentum that this the trend has changed and we're in a bearish correction before looking for a complete bullish movement to come into the market, right? So we're just going to look for possible zones and then look for when the market is ready for reverse. As you can see, we're also in a trend here, right? So in a trend, and we have our support zone here. So we're expecting the market to do something of this nature, come back here and then retest and then come back here. Then once we signal a breakout here, right, we signal a retest and then we start looking for buys to the upside. So we ride the trend to the upside, right? So from here we'll be looking to buy the market if the markets continue to play in this particular manner to the upside, right? Because we're seeing a very very good bullish movement to the upside. So we are going long, so we're gonna just patiently wait for the market, or you wait, you buy, you wait for this particular correction to play in, and then you start looking for buys, because there are these support zones here. There's a double bottom here which signals a very very good point for the market to reverse, right? So we're expecting the market to come there and then we start looking for buys to the upside on crash 1000, right? So be very very use a proper risk management, because this particular pair is kind of very very volatile, because one spike against you could really do a lot of damage. But if you use the proper risk management, you're safe. Just wait for the market to come to you, then you sell. The market's gonna crash completely down to this particular zone, then you start looking for buys to the upside. That's on the higher time frame. As you can see, on the smaller time frame, like the 4 hours, you're gonna see this particular movement on the smaller time frame, right? You can see, you're just gonna wait for the market. As you can see, we're already seeing a crash. We must complete the crash, at least back to this particular zone, then we'll now be looking for buys to the upside. So as you're buying, the stop losses will just be below this particular zone. So what you're losing is not even something to talk about, right? So you now be riding the market to the upside. So this is for